Hello everybody, welcome to another watercolor tutorial. We're painting a unique painting today. So I have my piece of paper in portrait position and I've just taped two pieces of Scotch tape running diagonally. So I'll tilt it so you can kind of see the glare. And they basically form a triangle like this. Now I was inspired by a photo I saw that was just this triangle painted, but I'm going to try something a little bit unique and just paint over the entire page and see what happens. So we're going to create our background first, and I want this to be almost a night sky. So I'm starting with black watercolor in the top area, like this. That's not quite as intense as I want it, so I'm just going to go over it again, like this. And then I'm going to transition into a nice deep blue. Any blue will do. Like if you only have a light colored blue, then you're welcome to just add black to it, or like it'll mix in nicely anyway with the black that you already painted. So I'm going to blend mine in like that. And then I'm going to have mine fade into a magenta, which I am running out of. So it's a nice purple into a magenta. And I'm gonna try adding some nice red in there before it fades into kind of an orangey yellow color. And I'm just gonna end it with, you know, that nice intense yellow, like so. So we can let this dry, and then we can either add on another layer. See this, what's happening right here is exactly why people tape the borders of their pieces of paper when they are doing like an entire background wash, because that happens. But I'm just too lazy to do that, so this is what we end up with. So let's let this completely dry and then I'll decide what we're gonna do next. Okay, so mine is mostly dry here. Before I peel the tape, I'm not gonna bother doing a second layer because this one's already quite intense. So before I peel that tape off, I'm just going to take some white acrylic paint and I'm just squirting it onto some aluminum foil, or you can just put it on anything really. And I'm taking a paintbrush and I'll just show you what I'm doing here. So there's my acrylic paint, and I'm taking a little bit of it, and I had quite a bit of water on this paintbrush. So I watered it down. So I think I'm okay with that. And then I am going to take another brush and tap that onto my piece of paper because I want to create stars, like a starry night sky. Typically I do this exact same technique when I want to create the illusion of a snowfall, but it works exactly the same way when we're trying to create a starry night sky. So you can keep going with that until you're satisfied with how many stars are in your sky. But the other thing I'm also going to do is add a few, you know, larger stars manually with my paintbrush. You can achieve larger ones as well by doing the technique we used earlier, but then by adding more water, but you just run a slight risk of having really large ones fall on your page, and I'm not really a fan of that. The other thing we can do is paint on a moon if you would like. So I'm trying to debate whether I want the moon here or I want it more on my page here. I don't know. Or if I just want half a moon as well. That's what I'm going to try doing. Just going to paint half a moon using the tape. Like so. I think I'm okay with that. Just make sure that you're rinsing your brush right away from that acrylic paint, especially if you're using your good watercolor paintbrush. I just have like a crappy extra paintbrush that I use. So you can peel that tape off and it'll reveal this kind of funky cosmic look, geometric look. And what we can do now is start painting on the details that are going to make this entire painting come together. So you can grab some black watercolor paint because we're going to be painting pine trees or conifers, whatever you prefer. And we're going to make them a little bit taller on the sides because we want them to extend beyond this triangle to make it look pretty neat. So it really depends on what kind of pine tree you want. So I never know what technique I'm going to use until I really start painting. I have so many videos on pine tree painting techniques, including one that features 8 different techniques on Skillshare, and the link is in all of my videos for a free Skillshare trial. So by all means, go check that one out. You can try Skillshare for a month for free. I believe that's what's in the link, and then and then you have access to my pine tree painting tutorial. So please check that out if you haven't already and you're interested. If you have problems painting pine trees, there's like I said, 8 techniques, so I'm sure that you could find something that works for you. But this is just one technique that you can use. So my yellow hadn't completely dried here on the bottom, which is why it's kind of appearing diluted. So that's all right, that looks okay. So I'm gonna grab my paintbrush again, or sorry, pick up more black watercolor. And I'm gonna paint a shorter tree just beside the one we just painted. I have way too much black pigment, like water, on my paintbrush, so I just dabbed it on a paper towel there. And I'm gonna extend mine a little bit higher just to get the fine details at the top. You can even experiment with different colors. I know that I'm using black, but you can use whatever colors you want for your pine trees. Ooh, you know, it would be pretty neat if you tried painting them with white acrylic paint. But then I think you'd have to make a much darker background in general, in order for that white to really stand out. So I'm gonna have another one a little bit shorter. Part of the reason why I'm making them shorter is because it requires less effort to paint a pine tree. If it's shorter, you have less surface area that you need to cover. I don't want to make mine completely symmetrical. So I'm gonna have the one on the right coming up a little bit shorter than this one. There we go. And you don't have to round off your trees like I'm doing. You can just have like a stump leading all the way to the bottom. That's also an option. But it looks cleaner to me when they're just, you know, all the way, they're rounded off all the way in the bottom. Because that bottom is this bright yellow, you can really see on the edge of the paper the yellow as well. So that's why I was kind of going over that bottom there to hide that yellow underneath. So I think I'll be okay with one more tree. We'll see. Trying to figure out why it looks a little bit too spacious. I think I might add another guy here. That fills it up a little bit more, although I was very loose with my brush strokes on that one. Very lazy. I might do a little guy in here. I think I am just gonna extend this one. And that way I can have another pine tree in between. Because right now it looks quite bare there to me. But this may be one of those instances where I just add way too much and ruin the painting. I do that pretty often. Okay. So, I'm thinking that's mostly it. I'm trying to figure out why it's missing something for me. What is it missing? Or maybe it's just supposed to be a simple painting. I mean, you could add little birds if you wish. So I'm gonna switch to my size quadruple 0 here, pick up some black and paint some birds in this space. So at least it fills, they could be bats even if you want. So that adds a little bit more to it, but I think I'm okay with that. Let me know what you guys think. If you would add something, what would it be? Just let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, hit like on this video, and I will see you in the next one.